Hey there guys, so previously in the recap, Haruto was reincarnated as the first prince, but his father and mother. The king and queen saw that Haruto was only at level 2 and could only use barrier magic, so they threw Haruto away in a jungle. But Gold and Natalia adopted him and Haruto started to live a normal life with his family and sister Charlotte, but his biological mother and father didn't stop there. For some reason they kept attacking Gold and his family time after time, but thankfully Haruto prevented it every time. Then afterwards, his blood siblings arrived in his territory for a tour. And there Haruto's younger brother, Prince Laius, tried to flex his power and status in front of Haruto, but Haruto quickly showed him his place, and the prince begged him for mercy. But his sister Marianne was a gentle person and apologized on behalf of his brother. So, as the story continues, Haruto was keeping an eye around their territory with his surveillance barrier for any attackers. But Charlotte saw some thieves on the surveillance and told Haruto about them. But then Flay heard it and now she wants to join Haruto to capture them. Then Charlotte gets excited seeing that. And starts to get into her own fantasy world of heroes and villains, where a hero's partner comes in to save the day. Flay didn't understand but still goes along with her imagination. And now Haruto has to deal with her delusion to make Charlotte happy. Then those thieves were having their fun time with their loot, but Lelouch. Haruto gets there to capture them, and to lend a hand. Flay also gets into her own character. Haruto had warned her beforehand not to give any censored violence since Charlotte was watching, but Flay gets too much into her own character that she forgot everything. So Haruto had to stop her and deal with them himself, but at home, at least Charlotte seemed happy so his mission was a success. But on the other hand, Prince Laius was irritated that despite being the son of the Flash Princess, the Queen, he couldn't beat Haruto, but his butler comes in to prepare him for a banquet. He tells Laius to invite Charlotte to take her out for sightseeing off their land, which Laius laughed it off, but Butler was pretty insistent, so Laius had to agree with him in the end. Then, after their banquet was over, Charlotte comes to Haruto with some food for him, because he ditched the banquet and had sent his clone there. But his clone was upset that Haruto forced him to attend that crappy party and started cursing him, but then he goes to bed right away without a care. There Charlotte tells Haruto that Prince Laius invited her for an outing, so Haruto gets overprotective as a brother and thought to join them in their outing. For that Haruto checks out the best route for them to play around, but there he noticed a bunch of wizards were making a magic circle in that area. So Haruto gets there to ask them if they had permission from Gold to hang out here in his land. Those wizards got shocked and wanted to cover it. They tried to harm Haruto. But Haruto showed them the power gap between them, so the wizard leader summoned undead soldiers. Haruto gets rid of them quickly, but they gets back again and again. But there he noticed a gem engraved in them, so Haruto overwrote the undead magic and suddenly those undead turned to their own summoners. Seeing that, the wizard leader summoned a golem this time and Haruto couldn't help but be impressed, but then just one attack from golem and Haruto got pushed back from its punch and realized, that golem's not a joke. But golem also had the gem heart so Haruto used a stone to attack its heart, and that golem also turns to his side, that wizard leader wasn't able to understand. So Haruto explains that he just overwrote his magic, then Haruto asked them about their motives for coming here, but he sealed off their lips. So Haruto dug up a hole and threw all of his companions inside and gave their leader only one chance. Their leader appears to have some sense and informed Haruto that they had been ordered by the Queen, his biological mother, to attack the party in Gold's mansion with summoned beasts. And their goal was to kill Charlotte in that attack. Haruto was about to lose his composure for a moment there, but he handled himself well. That leader told him that Charlotte had power to surpass the Queen, so Queen fears Charlotte could take the throne from her. So she orchestrated this attack, and this wasn't the first time. Their previous attack on Gold and Natalia and Charlotte, it was all Queen's plan to kill the rising power in the kingdom. Haruto recalls how treacherous of a woman his mother is. That she threw Haruto away right after he was born because he was weak. Those painful memories ticked him off at her evil mother, so he had decided to face his evil mother in the future. Then on the day of the outing, Princess Marianne and Haruto tagged along with Charlotte and Laius. And their Laius asked Haruto about his techniques that he used to beat him in their duel. So Haruto tells him that it's just a simple self-augmentation spell. Laius and Marianne were shocked, and their Laius started to believe that Haruto was born from a union of a demon and a human. But he didn't have any demon trails like horns and stuff, so that proves he was a human, but his powers were still mysterious. then their destination arrives and Charlotte, Marianne, and Laius took their time to walk around the wheat field. Seeing them having fun, Haruto gets to Gold and asks about the queen's intention to kill Charlotte. Gold didn't hide anything and tells the same thing that the wizard did. Charlotte does have power to surpass the queen, and for that she fears that Charlotte would rise in political power. And for that she wants to kill Charlotte. Haruto showed his bloodthirst for queen, but Gold told him not to be hostile to her. Because when King Jilk was on the verge of being overthrown from power by other nobles, every noble backed off because Queen Giselot was by his side. So Haruto gets the idea that if his biological mom dies, the kingdom would be thrown into a civil war. Gold tells Haruto, about 2 years before he was born, Queen Giselot was in the army of King Jilk to defeat the Demon King. Their Giselot killed the Demon King single-handedly and earned the name of Flash Princess and was favored by public. After that she married Jilk. And their marriage was strongly supported by the kingdom, but soon she showed her real colors, and now she wants whole kingdom under her control, but since Charlotte has power to surpass her, things are not going according to her plans, so Haruto suggested Gold to become a king himself, but Gold expressed that he has no interest in politics, but he has high expectations from Charlotte for the day when she surpasses Giselot and leads the kingdom to a better future, and Gold expects Haruto to always support her little sister. So now Haruto knows the full story of the assassination attempt and the person behind it, and he knows that Giselot will not let them leave in peace, so Flay asked to let her kill Giselot. But Haruto refused, because it's a personal matter and he wants to deal with it himself, and for that Haruto had decided to meet his mother now. But episode 4 ends there. And soon the anime will have some major turn of events, such as when he will meet his mother. The moment his mother and father realized that the son they threw off in a jungle for being weak was actually the strongest in the world, but all in all it will be fun when that time comes. So subscribe the channel if you also want to see that moment, and like the video if you enjoyed it.